everybody, this is Stay Lifted Holistic Healing here, and we do have a special guest.
We should have said before.
We have a special guest today, Rachel, and she is very passionate about
raw veganism.
Hi there. Yes, so today I'm going to be sharing my raw vegan cheesecake recipe. And raw vegan just basically means that food isn't cooked over 118 degrees. And basically what it means is that when you cook a lot of vegetables and fruit, nuts and seeds, things like that, a lot of the nutrients get cooked out of them. So if you're someone that has a disease or living with some sort of ailment, a raw vegan diet is like the best way to go. Or even if you just want to have a cleanse for the new year, it's a great thing to do. So we're going to get started with the crust.
What exactly are we making today?
So this is the crust for our raw vegan cheesecake. Okay. And I'm just gonna do my plain cheesecake recipe. I'll talk about later. You can add things to make flavored cheesecake, raw cheesecake. So the base for this raw vegan cheesecake is gonna be dates. So these are organic medjool dates. Really high in fiber and vitamins. They have a really low glycemic level, so they're really great. I think the best natural sugar substitute. So I'm gonna add, I have my food processor here, and this was like the best investment I've ever made, like $30 online, and I use it for all my raw vegan baking. So I have just pitted a cup of medjool dates here. So I'm gonna put this in here. Yeah, just all you're gonna do is just open it and take out the seed, and that's how you get it ready, because the seeds will not taste good. Alright, so I'm just going to blend this until it becomes a ball. You want it to come into the shape of a ball. Alright, so there's the ball. So we're going to take this out, put this on the side right here. It's a little bit of stuck, we're going to get that off. And then we're going to grind up 1 cup of raw walnuts. Nuts and like walnuts and cashews are expensive, but they're the best if you get them in bulk and get them, just get them when they're on sale. So walnuts, for that healthy fat, really good for your brain. So we're going to do a cup of those, maybe just a little under. I'm just going to add a little more. And we're also going to add a little bit of pink salt, Himalayan salt. Salt in its raw form. You always want to use pink salt and not sea salt. Just a teeny pinch of salt. So you just want to grind it into a little bit of a crumble. I'll show you what it looks like. So like this, just like a crumble. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slowly add the date paste back in. You can't do it all at once because then it's not going to get evenly incorporated. What you want to do is add it a little bit at a time through the little hole at the top of the food processor. So I'm going to start it again. And I'm just going to take little bits of the date paste and add it back in until all of it is added. Just a little bits at a time so it all gets incorporated into the walnut mix.
How many dates?
How many dates? It just depends. How many dates just depends on the size of the date. And also these are fresh dates, but if you have dried, like dates that have been in your cupboard for a while, you can add hot water to them and they become soft just like this, and you can and obviously strain the hot water off, but that's a way you can use old dates in the same recipe. Because it's hard when you gotta go to the grocery store and get a zillion things, You see how it's evenly in there. It's not just one chunk of date. Let's check on it. Yeah, that looks good. So this is what we're going for. I'll take the blade out and just show you how the consistency. Do you want to taste it?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so just like this. Almost like a kind of dry cookie dough. And then You can line it with a parchment sheet, but I didn't do that because I'm lazy. Oh, a little bit fell out. Okay, so we're just gonna pour this into the bottom of our cheesecake tin.
And this is a non-stick?
Non-stick, yes. It also works with a pie, like a tart pan. You just want anything that you can pop the sides off. Okay, so we're just gonna take our hands and smush it down to make the crust. You can use a cup for this if you want it to be really even looking, but I kind of like it looking a little bit rustic. I'm just trying to get it evenly all over the bottom and the same, about maybe 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Okay, that is looking good. So we're just gonna pop this in the freezer for just a minute while we make our cheesecake filling. So we're gonna start with cashews, and these are raw cashews that I've just soaked overnight. If you don't have the time to soak them overnight or you forget, you can always pour boiling water on them and leave them for about an hour, and it works the same. It's not raw vegan because they're kind of cooked, but it works if you're in a pinch. So this is gonna be our creamy texture that's gonna be like a regular cheesecake. So here's my cashews. This is about, I'd say, 1.5 cups of cashews, maybe a little bit less. And then I'm just gonna pour it straight into the Vitamix. And then obviously that's gonna be a lot of richness, so we're gonna need to cut it with something. So we're gonna add lemon juice. This is about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And then I'm gonna add lemon zest. You'll be amazed how much flavor is just in the skin of a lemon. So a tip for when you're zesting a lemon is you're gonna wanna move it around. So you don't wanna just scrape one side of the lemon because the white part is very bitter, it doesn't taste good. So you're just gonna wanna go around the edge. I just wanna make sure I get a good amount. Just use your judgment, get about a teaspoon in there because it adds so much flavor to your cheesecake. I'm gonna show the back. See, that's all lemon zest. It's a lot of flavor that you want in your cheesecake.
So that's about how much again?
I'd say this is about a teaspoon of lemon zest that I've got in there. Okay, so our next ingredient is gonna be the meat from a young coconut. So this is basically like, sorry, it's like leaking everywhere. This is nature's Gatorade. It's so high in electrolytes, in potassium, much more potassium than even a banana or a sweet potato, just tons of potassium. And this meat right here is what we're gonna use for our another element of creamy texture. So I'm just gonna pour the water out. If I can do this gracefully. Have you ever had like raw coconut water like this?
Oh, I love it.
It's so good. It's
really
so
good
good
if you have a hangover, by the way.
Exactly. Hangover here, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start getting the meat out of here. See this? This is gold right here. These are kind of expensive. If you get them at Ralph's or Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, anywhere like that, they're gonna be from like $3 to $5. But my little secret is if you go to the dollar store, they have them at the dollar store and you can get them for only $1.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
It's good to know.
Alright. Sorry, this is part, it's kind of tedious, takes a second to get all this meat out. But do you see how like that's such a beautiful texture?
Yeah.
This is also great in raw vegan puddings. You could use that and use some cacao powder, make some chocolate pudding with dates. Or agave or dates. Yeah, if you wanted to keep it raw, use dates. Coconut nectar is technically raw as well. My favorite sweetener though is maple syrup. It's not technically raw, but it's like so high in iron and magnesium and all the great. Okay, and our next ingredient I'm gonna add a whole vanilla bean pod. So these are very expensive. So if you don't want to use it, you can use 2 teaspoons of just plain vanilla extract. But if you really want to do the raw thing, you can get these, and the flavor is just insane.
Where can you get those from?
Sprouts, Whole Foods, any major grocery store. So basically what you want to do is you want to take your knife. Let me see, I'm going to cut it in half. And you just want to cut down the center of it like this. Like that. open it, and gold. It's like, that's such amazing flavor right there. So basically after you cut it, I'm just gonna finish cutting this down really quick. You use the back of your knife like this, hold it open, it's kind of dry, and scrape all the goodness, all the vanilla goodness out of there. And we're just gonna add that into our blender.
So
we're gonna use
vanilla right there.
Yeah, raw vanilla, and it's amazing flavor. So I just got done, finished adding one whole vanilla bean in here, and I added just a little bit, like about a tablespoon of the raw coconut water, just to make sure I can get it going, make sure it gets going. And the last thing I'm gonna add is I'm just gonna add a little bit of organic maple syrup. Some people don't consider this raw, but I do. It's a lot of raw foodists use maple syrup. It's my personal favorite sweetener. So I'm gonna add about 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup to this. If you're really wanting to do the raw thing, you can use something called coconut nectar, which is technically 100% raw. Okay, great. And then now that we have all of our ingredients prepared, we're just gonna blend this until it becomes smooth. So I'm gonna put my lid back on my Vitamix. I'm gonna start it low. Vitamix did a real nice job of blending that. So you see that's just like so creamy, beautiful texture. You can see the vanilla pods, little bits of vanilla bean in there. But you know, if you don't have this powerful of a blender, which most people don't, I got this because I was a cashier at Whole Foods and I got a discount. But anyway, it would depend on what blender you use. If you want to use your home blender, you just add a little bit more water. Just add a little more water to pulsate it a little more. It'll still taste just as good. It just be a little bit less thick of consistency. So this would be the point. If you wanted to flavor your cheesecake, you could add raspberries, you could add blueberries, you could add pitaya, like dragon fruit, for a really beautiful color. I don't know, Liz, what do you think? Do you want to add blueberries or blackberries or something, or do you want to keep it plain? What do you think?
I don't know. What do you think?
If you want, we could just do the plain. I mean, it's up to you.
No, let's throw something in there.
We're gonna throw some berries in the fridge. So I'm gonna add all these blueberries and give it a nice color and mix it again. And this is just gonna give it a real nice color. Raspberries would be beautiful with this. I have frozen berries, I don't have fresh raspberries. But raspberries would be really beautiful with this. Now's the time, now that our filling is prepared, we're gonna get our crust back out. So let me get that really quick. And we're just gonna pour the raw cheesecake mixture directly into the filling. Make it spatula out. Can't miss any of the goodness. This is gold in here. Yeah, like I said, you could add raw pumpkin, do a pumpkin cheesecake. You could add all different types of fruits. You can flavor it however you want. You could do, if you do use spices, you could make like a raw chai cake, cheesecake. But you know, spices aren't technically raw. But all right, so I'm just gonna smooth this out a little bit. Presentation purposes. There's gonna be a lot of air bubbles. So another trick to do is to pick it up and drop it. This gets all the air bubbles out of the side. All right, so I'm just gonna give it one more swirl. And we're gonna stick this in the freezer, and it's gonna be ready in about an hour to 2 hours.
finally gonna try the cheesecake.
All set?
Excited. Oh my god.
So good, right?
Oh my god, Rachel.
Isn't that bomb?
It's so creamy.
It was in the freezer for about 2 hours. So good, right?
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. This raw cheesecake.
Blueberry cheesecake.
Probably better than the cheesecakes that I've tried that weren't vegan in the past.
Oh, thank you, babe.
And I'm not even saying that because I'm vegan.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. You are amazing.
Thanks. I'm gonna eat 2 more slices.